Welcome to Stephen King's Saturday. Sticking with what I did last week, I watched The Mangler 2, and oh my god, it is just as awful as I remember. Please, let this be my last time. Let me just escape this film. I have watched it before. I can't believe I actually sat down and watched it again. But I did. Let's talk about it. So, we've got Jo here, and she is this rebel girl. And she's pissed off her dad, so he's sending her back to this school. She's a hacker, and she has a very tumultuous relationship with her father. And she gets sent to this school. And in this movie, they go from an evil ironing fast press to an evil security system at a prep school. What the fuck? I don't know. This is the only film this guy ever directed. They probably shot him after he made it. After he brought in the film, they were just like, take him out back. It's time to be done with this guy. So he was never heard of again, and thank God for that. The songs in this movie are extremely 90s. You know what era that you're watching. You get a true romance quote right out the gate after you get to this school. The whole walk-in line about hitting them in the nose and the water coming in their eyes and all that stuff. So, cute little nod to Tarantino and Tony Scott's film there. But how dare they mention that film in this abysmal fucking effort. That's being generous to even refer to it as an effort. This is, I don't know what this is, but it really is some of the worst. These are the kinds of movies that I watch that when people tell me, like, oh, I saw The Babadook or something, it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, you clearly don't watch bad movies. You clearly have never seen The Mangler 2. You've clearly never seen Death House. You've clearly never seen... The list goes on and on. So for when I hear people that watch like really super competently made, well-acted films that may just go in different directions than they like, are comfortable with, or they think it's like boring or slow or whatever. No, you don't know what a bad movie is until you watch Mangler 2. Watch The Mangler 2 and then come and talk to me about bad movies. We get Lance Henriksen in here, which, I feel like at this point in his career, he was just like, pay me. Give me money. I actually sat down and talked with Lance for a little bit, and I actually got a lot of shit for asking him about Piranha 2 by some of the people that were there. And when he left, they were like, dude, what the fuck? Why'd you bring that up? And I'm like, he's a fucking person, dude. I'm not allowed to talk to him about what he's done in his life. Like, I don't care how embarrassing that movie is. Trust me, Piranha 2: The Spawning is not the bottom of the barrel when it comes to his filmography. So I'm not bringing up like the low point of his career. He was in Mangler fucking 2. Okay, I didn't bring that up. So anyway, and everything in the school is automated. Like everything, things that would not be automated is like you're seeing things and you're like, that wouldn't be controlled by a computer. And it's funny too because it's not like a computer program that's went rogue and it's just like shocking people or making equipment malfunction or any of those things. No, this actually like kind of has a physical body to a degree. It like uses power cords and possesses them to be able to move around and wrap themselves around and shock people and whatever. What the motivations for this machine is and what it's trying to do and all that, who the fuck knows? I don't know. At the end, it's trying to breed with the girl, but it's trying to breed with her through a male, like a human male. So it would just be a human baby. That makes no sense. It takes Lance Henriksen's character, who is like the principal or whatever of this school, headmaster, and it latches itself onto him and it becomes like, meshed with him. And he's like trying to mate with Jo at the end. And then she's like, oh yeah, I got to teach you about reproduction and sex and all that. That's how she like beats him, by allowing that program. It's the dumbest fucking shit you can imagine. But I remember just sitting there watching it being like, but that's a human being. The computer program, which is supposed to be intelligent, is basically acting like somehow this is going to be some bionic, half human, half freaking machine hybrid. It's going to be 100% human. The semen, the sperm in this guy is human. So, what is your plan here exactly? Just because you hooked up some shit to the back of his head doesn't mean that anything down here has changed. It's not like you recoded his DNA. This fucking movie. Anyway, and I like Emily, who's like the hot chick of this, who tit teases throughout the entire film. She wears like cleavage shirts down to like where nipples should be, but they're not. It's incredible. It's like, does this girl even have nipples? Her fucking cleavage is so low. She comes up to this dude that's all about her. He's all wanting to get with her, and he almost does. He like has the chance, but then it kind of gets, held back and eventually completely delayed forever, definitely, because of his demise and hers, which is kind of a shame, but he's a total moron, so I don't really care. But he has a friend who's part of their group who's black, and she's like, oh my God, you went to his neighborhood? And you can tell like this kid is rich, but she's still racist enough to be like, oh my God, you went to a black neighborhood? And it's like, have you seen the car this guy just pulled up, the outfit he's wearing? I don't think he lives in a black neighborhood as you might think he does. The kind of neighborhood she's thinking about in her head. I mean, maybe everyone in his neighborhood is black, but they sure as fuck ain't poor like she seems to think. It was so funny the way she said it. I was like, oh my God. And then they go through this whole list of like porn titles, like Gladiate Her and Shaving Ryan's Privates, and typical porn titles that you've heard a million times, but probably at this time these were fresh. The computer system in this is called the M2K. I'm guessing this is supposed to be playing off of Y2K hysteria, right? And then Jo drives herself to the school with her bodyguard in the back seat. You would think the bodyguard would be the one driving, but she drives herself to the prison school that she refuses to go to, but she just drives up and is like really playfully in a good mood with her bodyguard who's taking her in and making her go. And it does not seem like a girl that's like, no, I'm not going to go, and I won't stay here, and I won't go to school here. No, she just kind of goes. And then there's this like really kind of weird, almost sexual tension going on between her and her bodyguard, who seems to be quite a bit older than her. And I'm assuming that these are supposed to be high school students. So she's 16, 17 years old, and this guy's probably my age. I mean, if she's legal, I guess whatever. But it very much plays off. Very much plays off like he's into her, and I don't know what her feelings are on him. She also has this romance with this guy in this movie, and it never feels authentic. But nothing in this movie does. I mean, I can't even talk on that shit anymore. I shouldn't even say stuff like that. Of course, it's not. The acting is horrible. There's a French chef in this whose accent comes and goes, much like Scarlet Witch does in the MCU. She just kind of like, her Sokovia accent is just like in and out. It's like, and they even make fun of it in WandaVision, when Pietro shows up and is like, she's like, what happened to your accent? He's like, what happened to yours? It's like, yeah, what did happen to yours? And then it kind of comes back when she's like in a bad mood. This guy's the same. It's just all over the place. There's like scenes where he's like trying to talk like very stereotypical French American, where he's like, and then other moments he's just talking like me. And I'm like, wait, what? Did you just drop the accent or just talking normal? I thought for a minute he was like faking the French thing, and maybe that's a plot line they dropped. That was like a character thing, that like when he's around people he wants to be taken more seriously as a chef, so he pretends to be French, and then when he's by himself he's just being himself, just his normal American accent. This almost reminds me of the movie Dead Man on Campus. when they have like the goth guy that they're hoping will kill himself so they can get straight A's, and then when they follow him into the bathroom, he like goes from goth guy to like singing show tunes because it's all a big act. It's the way it felt in this. I was like, is this supposed to be this? The program that they download is called the Mangler 2.0. So that's about the connection we get with the first Mangler. That's about it. We actually get it to be called the Mangler. This was obviously a last minute thought in the film. I'm sure they made this piece of shit and then we're like, how do we salvage this? No one's going to watch this. This is awful. This killer computer program, nothing makes any sense. Nothing is interesting. Nothing is good. And they're like, well, I mean, we can just insert the Mangler into it. Like, just, and they're like, the Mangler? There's nothing like the Mangler. And they're like, well, I mean, we got to do something. So I think that's what happened here, honestly. The wires use shears to come after somebody from behind, much like Exorcist 3, but without all the style and all of the setup and all of the tension. I was like, is this an Exorcist 3 homage? Except for this time it's wires instead of somebody wrapped in gauze. That's one of my favorite kills of all time. Like, just the way it looks. And even though we don't even see it happen, it's just the scariness of the moment, which is fantastic. The quick zoom and everything. But with this, it's just wires holding some gardening shears about to cut someone's head off. And you're like, oh, God, this is so dumb. All the dudes in this movie have, like, male model ripped-ass bodies. And I even the like nerdy guys and stuff, I'm like, what in the fuck? They got one hell of a gym on the campus there, I guess. And then, as I said, Emily, holy fuck, her body was incredible, but her attitude, her brains were bad news. It's a Valley Girl quote. And the music in this movie, like the score and the soundtrack, is mixed so high in places that I can't even hear the dialogue. And honestly, I don't think I missed anything during that. Like, okay. If you're going to have important bits of dialogue to your plot, don't put in music, mix it super high, and also, in addition, and even more importantly, don't make it a song with fucking lyrics where the person's singing over it. So you're hearing two different sets of words at once at about the same volume. So I'm listening to music's lyrics and I'm trying to pay attention to what she's saying, even though I honestly couldn't give a fuck at that point. I was just like, oh, what's she saying now? I don't care. I don't care. So these are the kinds of reviews that I do where if I mess stuff up, and it's like, oh, that's not what happened, or he's misremembering that. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm only here to talk about what I noticed and what to make fun of in something stupid as this. Because trust me, I was checked out half the time. The Emily, the hot chick in this, well, the hot chick, the girl who's supposed to be the hot chick in this, the dude's coming after her the whole movie. And of course, she wants nothing to do with him. She's too good for him. She's too good for everybody. But as soon as he has any attention giving to someone else, she's like, what the fuck? She's like actually mad at him because she wants all the attention. She doesn't want to actually give him anything. But she's like, how dare you look at somebody else? Like, you're supposed to pine after me, and I'm supposed to reject you for all eternity. If you're doing that to someone, you're awful. You're just fucking awful. Genuinely. Let them go. And there's a line in this where Emily is talking about eating something, and the guy's like, oh, I wouldn't think that you would eat that kind of stuff, like with your body, essentially. And she was like in an emotional state, so she was like, I don't care right now. And she says, a waste is a terrible thing to mind. I thought that was kind of cute. I liked that line. I thought that was kind of funny to flip that line and make it about, weight gain, eating joke. So, that was okay. That was all right, I guess. There's my positive of the movie. And the girl in the laundry room definitely got her ass mangled. That's the only bit of like decent kill in this movie. The chef is locked in a freezer and frozen, and definitely would have frostbite and would need parts of his skin removed, like his nose. I mean, when he comes out, he looks like a cartoon character. He's completely frozen. He's got like fucking icicles hanging, and he's just totally fine. He comes out, no big deal. And then we've got all the kids in this are staying after, almost like Halloween H2O, and they're referred to as prefects. I guess this is an actual thing at schools like this. I've never been to a school like this, but I thought that was a Harry Potter thing. But I guess it's not. Prefects are a real thing. They said it in here, so I've never been to a fancy school. We didn't have prefects where I was. I didn't even know I didn't know that was an actual title of something. So I'm an idiot. No clue that was a thing. So when I heard the term, I was like, oh, that wasn't made up for Harry Potter? I was thinking of Percy freaking Weasley when I heard prefects. We got acid rain that's coming through the sprinkler system. This has been used in many movies at this point. So how it got acid rain or like acid into there to spray all over the kid, I have no fucking clue. And then there is a exchange, like a back and forth insult-a-thon between Joe and Emily. And Emily says something like, yeah, that's something like, that would be good on a show called 10 Stupid Ideas or Less. And then the retort from Joe is, sure beats Bitch Isle. Like, Bitch Island. So this exchange was horrid. I actually like cringed when they said it. The way they delivered those lines, dreadful. It made me laugh out loud. It was so bad. And yeah, Emily is in a bathing suit top almost this entire movie. They knew how to sell her, and I was not upset about it. It seems that Emily was being molested by Braden, or Bradeen, I think, Lance Henriksen's character. I think that's what they're implying here, which seems like it would be like a big moment, but it's kind of just grazed over. She's like, he used to come into my room at night, and it's like, your principal is fucking molesting you, and you're like a near adult? Like, what? This is a big deal. You need to fucking go say something to somebody. This is craziness. And there's a scene in this where the editing is super bizarre, and the sound effects, and then there's just like missing frames, and then it's like different takes of the same shot being inserted, but with like multiple frames missing, and then it's kind of like faded and fading. I don't know what the choice is here. I guess it's supposed to make it feel dreamlike, or like something is wrong. I don't know what the attempt here is, but it does not work at all. But I guess they at least tried something, so there you go. Yeah, my actual note, it wants to create life with Joe, but with a man's body. And then the monster in this, the Mangler 2.0, the M2K, this is the worst line of the movie by far, and I can't even believe Lance Henriksen like approved and said okay to doing it. He is talking to Joe about how he wants to to reproduce with her, and she's like, well, I need something from you first. To which he replies in trying to be a sinister voice, tell me what you want, what you really, really want. Like, what decision was this in the moment? They were like, the Spice Girls are hot right now. This will be relevant to the times. Let's put this in. When your main bad guy says, tell me what you want, what you really, really want, and he's saying it in a way that's supposed to be like the Spice Girls song, but also trying to be... that actually made me like take a step back. I was like, wow, I can't believe they did that. That's fucking horrid. So I don't know what this choice was here, but it's not played like a comedy. This is played super straight the entire time. This is never trying to be funny. This is trying to be scary. This is trying to be dramatic. This is an attempt at actually being a good movie. So the insertion of that line, whoa. And then once Joe kind of beats the Mangler here, her dad shows up, and it's like this fairy tale ending where he like comes and hugs her and is like, I'm sorry, baby, I love you. And she's like, I love you too, daddy. And they're mended, all is well in the world, good to go. What the fuck ever. Horrible movie, absolutely abysmal. Never watch it for any reason. And I am unfortunately not done. I have to watch The Mangler Reborn, The Mangler 3, next week. I don't have to, but I'm going to, just to have some fun. It's fun for me to talk about these, but wow, just awful. So, has anybody seen this fucking movie? I know the guys at the horror show actually did a video on part 2 and 3, so they might be the only other people on planet Earth that have seen this fucking movie. But I watched it, and I'm not better for it. So, don't watch it. Do not go seek it out. Some people take that as like a challenge, or they're like, no, now I gotta see it. No, that is not what I mean. I mean, I'm trying to save your time. I'm giving you all the rundowns of what you'll find funny or interesting, and I'm making them way more funny and interesting. Do not watch this movie. Promise me. Tell me down in the comments, you'll promise me you're never gonna fucking watch this movie, or Death House, or any of the other movies that I implore you not to watch. I'm not trying to like reverse psychology, like, oh, you gotta see how bad it is. No, you don't. Don't watch this. Please. Now you're gonna go watch it. Fuck, I can't win.